Hey there, Pooblings, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Rama, and in today's video, we'll be talking about the Hangar and how you can earn over $1 million an hour grinding with it. Yes, you heard that correct. On the note of Pooblings, the other day, I started saying that. I normally say, hey there, everybody, welcome to the channel, but I was like, you know what? I'm Rama, and people watching the channel are Pooblings. Kind of works out perfectly. But, for some reason, that has been the most controversial thing on my channel now, which is great. Honestly, it's great. So let me know if you're part of the Poob Army or not in the comments section. With that being said, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how you can maximize your profits with the Hangar, simple tricks and tips that I've been using to grind with it, and how you can basically, well, earn millions of dollars every single time you use this business. We're going to start off with one of the simplest tricks in the book when it comes to the Hangar, but one that a lot of people actually don't do. And that is the fact you should always use your personal aircraft and spawn it from inside of your hangar rather than spawning it outside of your hangar. What exactly do I mean? Well, we can see right now I'm hopping into my F-160 Raiju. And if I wait for my character to get inside of it, and then we hold RT on the accelerator, it's going to spawn my Raiju outside of the hangar. Now what you can do instead of this is go into Manage Vehicles and scroll over until you see the F-160 Raiju, and then request it once you're outside of your hangar. The reason you might think it's more efficient to do this is because instead of having to, fly your aircraft all the way over to the edge of the hangar, you can simply just, go right over to it the moment you're outside of the hangar. But trust me, this is by far the most efficient way to grind with the hangar. And the reason why is because aircraft spawned inside of your hangar will fly 30 to 40% faster than aircraft that are spawned outside of the hangar. If you don't believe me, go watch TGG's video. Go watch any one of my videos where I break this down. I've even shown it with the speedometer. It's 100% confirmed. For some reason, any aircraft spawned inside the hangar will fly 30% faster when used versus calling it in through the interaction menu. So because of that, you can basically grind 30% faster. That is a huge, huge difference to how quick you can grind in GTA. Now, honestly, I still like using the Sparrow when grinding because it is so simple, but if you are going to use aircraft, make sure that you spawn it when it is inside the hangar. Next up, what you're going to want to do is source one of these three materials: medical supplies, chemicals, and narcotics. A lot of people think that animal materials and all of these other sourcing products are the same. That is not actually the case. If you are sourcing anything that isn't these three here, they are actually worth less overall. So if you source only counterfeit goods, they will be worth less than if you were to source only narcotics or chemicals. It's kind of goofy, but it is true. What you should always do is source one of these three. Now, the way that the hangar works is you want to have 50 of one type of material. And the reason why is because you'll get a 70% bonus. If you have 25 of a single material, you will have a 30% bonus. And then if you have, a bunch of random crates like Rooster, then you'll have no bonus. Now you can see right now we have a Paleto Bay mission. Normally what this mission entails is you have to make your way all the way over to this location. Then there's going to be barge out in the sea. You're going to have to land on the barge, kill a bunch of people, pull a lever. It's going to drop a submarine, which then you're going to have to bring over to the shore. Then you're going to have to drive or blow up the van and then go all the way back to the military base. It is by far the worst mission. This isn't the only one. If you have Go to Paleto Bay, El Burro Heights, or go to the Alamo Sea, immediately set your spawn location to whatever hangar it is you own, go to online, and find a new session. The reason why is because in about 5 seconds, it's going to swoop me back down inside of my hangar. And then I can simply go back onto the computer and start a new mission up. Those missions take double, if not triple, the amount of time any of the normal missions do. Now, a lot of people always ask me when I'm streaming and when I'm doing videos, why do I only do land, air, and sail missions? And that is simply because the land missions are faster. They are much faster to complete. They are much faster to do with sail missions as well. We can see this one here is the Alamo Sea. This is the exact same thing as the Toledo Bay, except this time the game would want me to go to a barge here. Again, it is a waste of time. The moment you see that text prompt, just load into a new lobby. You might say, but Poob, you're taking more time now than it would have just been to go over there, complete the mission, and then finish it up. First of all, no, it's still faster. It is still much faster to just load into a new lobby, even if you get it 3-4 times in a row. And second of all, the reason it's faster is because you don't know what you're going to get in the future. But what I do know is that for the current, it's going to take a lot longer. So it's still just load into a new lobby. That's as simple as it is. This time we'll get something different, and it'll be fine. There you go. Go to Richmond. This is a very, very quick mission. So if you're not going to use the F-160 Raiju or any of your personal aircraft to source, my recommendation is to go to Service Vehicles, go to Kosatka, and request the Sparrow. I actually had a live stream where there were a lot of people telling me to use the Raiju that were telling me to use the Oppressor Mark II for sourcing. And I said, you know what? Let's test what is the fastest overall way to source in the game. And, believe it or not, the Sparrow was the quickest. The only problem with the Oppressor is that a lot of the hangar missions they're pretty far distance, right? This one involves me going all the way over to the city. And even the ones that are inside of Sandy Shores are still a good 3 miles of distance. And because of that, using the Sparrow, which flies about 40 miles per hour faster than the Oppressor Mark II, it's just more efficient. And because you can spawn the Sparrow next to you immediately, and it has unlimited homing missiles, you never have to worry about respawning it, or anything else. But the other really big advantage of the Sparrow is, as I said, it's just faster. The Raiju, though, is obviously much faster than the Oppressor. The Raiju can fly in at 232 miles per hour. This goes 170. That's a huge, huge speed difference. The problem is, you have to request the Raiju every single time. And then you have to go over to it. You have to wait for it to get into the air. It takes a while. And because of that, while the Sparrow may be a little bit slower, it just doesn't make a difference. The Sparrow is still the fastest overall. So I recommend, if you're going to use anything, use the Sparrow. But if you are going to use aircraft out of your hangar, you want to use the Raiju, do the method that I showcased earlier. Now this mission is super simple. All we have to do is shoot the generator, grab the crate that is inside of this area, which is right here, and then walk back inside of my Sparrow. Just like that, we are already done with this mission. It literally will take me 3 minutes in total. You can see right now there's 28 minutes remaining, and then once we get back, 3 minutes. The average crate source, if you add in loading into new lobbies and the skip method I'm about to showcase, takes about 5 minutes in total. So it's 5 minutes per crate. Now you are making $33,000 every time you source a crate. It used to be $30,000, but in the latest DLC for Grand Theft Auto Online, Rockstar has added a new set of properties. There are 3 in total. There is the car wash, which is located over here, and then we have Higgins Helicopter Tours, which is located right here. Purchasing Higgins Helicopter Tours will set you back about $1.6 million, because you also need to get the car wash. Once you get both of those properties, specifically Higgins Helicopter Tours, every single crate you source inside of the hangar will be worth 10% more. That is a huge buff, because in total there are 50 crates. So you are getting basically an additional 10% overhead. So normally the hangar is worth about, I think, 3.5 million. Now you get close to about 3.8 million. And as you can see, that mission took me exactly 3 minutes to complete. So if we go to our calculator really quickly, and your base pay is 33,000, right? Normally, if you multiply that by 50, if you're using Rooster, you're going to make 1.65 million now, just using Rooster, which alone is pretty good. But you have to remember that you're getting a 70% bonus when sourcing. So it's actually 33,000 multiplied by 1.7. Each crate is technically worth $56,100. So if we multiply that by 50 crates, your hangar is going to be worth 2.8 million. That is insane. It took me 4 hours to fill my hangar the other day. So if we do that 2.8 million and we divide it by 4 hours, that means you're earning $700,000 every single hour. But here's the thing you're forgetting. If you sell in a public lobby, you can increase the amount of money you make by 50%. So if we take that $700,000 and we multiply it by 1.5, it actually means that you will be earning $1 million just grinding with the hangar if you sell in a public lobby. Now, I know that some of you hate selling in public lobbies, and if that's you, then, well, grinding the hangar, while it is still good, is not the most profitable. But selling in a public lobby is going to massively increase the amount of money that you earn. And the reason why is simply because of the fact you're literally making so much more. And doing land sale missions is always a guaranteed single vehicle sale mission, and I'll showcase that in just a moment. The first thing I want to showcase, though, is how you can completely remove the cooldown from the hangar. You can see right now that I still have 2 minutes left, and that's after already yapping and showing the calculator for about another minute and 30. In total, there's a 4-minute cooldown before I'm able to source narcotics again. However, there's a way to bypass that. Go to online, quit to main menu. Every single player that is on the newer edition, Enhanced, will have this option. Once you quit to the main menu, make sure that your spawn location is already set to the hangar. The game's going to take about 10 seconds to load you. Then you're going to go to story mode. Now, you could technically go straight into online mode, but usually it takes longer to load into online, into a public lobby, than it does into story mode. So here we go. Now I'm going to load in the story mode. Once the game's done showing me North Yankton, we just press pause, online, and invite only. Just like that, we are now loading back into our invite only lobby, into our hangar. For some reason, quitting to main menu and then going back into invite only lobbies completely removes the cooldown for the materials you are sourcing. And this is why I said normally it's 3 minutes per mission, but then you have to add an additional minute because of loading into new lobbies and because of skipping the cooldown. But that's it. After this, if we make our way back over to the door here, we hop onto our chair, we can take a look, and you will see that our cooldown for the narcotics will be completely removed. Source, boom. So I can start another one right now. With that being said, there's one final thing I want to showcase before we finish off today's video, and that is doing a sale mission in a public lobby. As I said, a lot of people stress about sale missions when it comes to the hangar, especially selling in a public lobby. And while I may only have 3 crates right now, the good news is that when it comes to land sale missions, because it's always a single vehicle, it doesn't matter how many crates I have, I'm just going to showcase how simple the sale missions are and why I always recommend for this business to be done in public lobbies. Well, a little bit of loading later, we're in a lobby with 11 people. Honestly, that's fine. We don't need to be in a fully populated lobby to showcase how the sale missions work. Now, for every player that is in your lobby, you get a 2% bonus when completing sale missions. So if you have 21 people in your lobby, you're basically going to be at the max of 50%, which is pretty dang sweet. Anything past that, and you're actually just going to be capped at a 50% bonus. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell narcotics. Always do land sale missions because they are quicker. After this, you are simply going to make your way over to the sale mission. So this one, for example, I actually can use my Phantom Wedge because you'll notice we have a trailer, which is right in front of me, and we're going to grab that trailer. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to drive over and pick up my Phantom Wedge, and we're going to use that. Alright, now that we have our Phantom Wedge, we just need to grab the trailer, which is right here, and deliver the narcotics to the location. So we'll do a little spinaroo there. Let's grab that trailer. Boom. And now we have to drive 2.75 miles to the drop-off. That's it. A fully loaded hangar, as I showcased, is normally worth $2.8 million. If you're making an additional 50% on that, that's another $1.4 million extra. I think in total, you can make $4.2 million with a fully loaded hangar. Well, I didn't mean to drive over here, but I guess we can still squeeze through the gap. Now, we're in a lobby, not a lot of people, but pretend that you were nervous. And, I don't know, you think somebody's going to blow you up and you're going to fail the sale mission. Well, here's the thing. As long as you sell and you're part of a CEO, you have CEO abilities. And inside of CEO abilities, you have one called Ghost Organization. Pressing this will give me 3 minutes off the radar. Not only that, but in the latest update for GTA, Rockstar gave you an extra 45 seconds before your product is visible on the map. You can actually see the global signal is just now off. So that means I only have to drive 1.6 miles, and I'm off the radar for 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and I'm done with this mission. So you can understand how easy it is to sell in public lobbies. Like, it really is that easy. A lot of people stress about it, and they're worried that their product's going to get blown up. But realistically, it's just not something you have to worry about. And let's say that somebody is about to blow up your product. You know, somebody's shooting you, your cargo is being shot at. All you have to do, if you're worried about you're, going to die or blow up, is go to the pause menu, go to online, and find new session. That's all you got to do. The moment you load into a new lobby, as long as the product did not get blown up before you load into that new lobby, all of the product will be returned apart from like 2 or 3 crates. Go do 3 more missions, and then go back to doing the sale mission in a public lobby. Trust me, it's worth it. It really is. Even if you only complete 66% of your sale missions, you are still making a profit because of how much the high demand bonus gives you. So, either way, we have to drive 0.3 miles and we are done with this. It took me less than like 4 minutes. That's it. So we drive around this corner here, and around this corner here. Oh, a little bit of a failed turn for me. That's the only downside of the Phantom Wedge. It's so freaking long. But we just have to reverse the trailer. I didn't actually realize that. Okay, so let's drive past over here, and then we can try and reverse the trailer. It's obviously a little bit harder than you'd think because of the... Yeah, it's kind of a goofy spot to do this, isn't it, Rockstar? Alright. Oh, wait, we might be able to do it now. It's just... Come on. Come on. Oh, my... This is such an awful spot to reverse the trailer. I can't even turn it because of the nose. Okay. Okay, game. Alright. I don't know how I'm actually supposed to reverse the trailer here. I'm going to be honest, guys. I really don't. I have one idea, which I think is going to be the realistic best idea. This is ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous, but I have an idea. We'll see if this works, because I just don't understand how you're normally supposed to do this. There's not enough room. But I wonder if I break this, and then I turn my vehicle around here, if we can turn it around like this, and then we can kind of just do this. There you go. That works. That was ridiculous. Okay, well, if you ever get that mission, reverse it like that, I guess. Either way, all we have to do now is drive away. Even with all of that failing, we still have Ghost Torque for another 5 seconds. And because we just had a bunch of extra people join the lobby, we're going to get more money. So as you can see, we were normally supposed to make $90,000, but because we had extra people join the lobby, we actually made like $140,000. And that's a big bonus just from that right there. So, my recommendation is always sell in public lobbies, take advantage of the things I showcased, and you too will become a millionaire very quickly. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, make sure to click that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!